guys, Thogden here and welcome back to Game Week 34 predictions. Things are heating up at the end of the Premier League table. I've got Thogdad and a very special guest. We're going to introduce him soon, but how are you feeling?
I'm feeling all right, except there's somebody there, Theo, who's not subscribed to the second channel yet.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
No, come on. They have now. I can get on with the scores from last week. The brilliant FG got 3 points. Thogdad got 4 points. There were some difficult games. He got 10 points, Theo.
I've got the ball knowledge. I'm the genie.
You're the genie. Get back in your bottle. Luton against Brentford is 18th against 15th. It's a game of massive significance. In fact, I'd say this is a must-win for the Hatters. But look, Theo, they got battered by Manchester City. A lot of teams do. Luton have lost 3 of the last 4, Theo, but can they catch up to Forest and or Everton?
Well, they're playing each other, and that prediction will come out later. That's a good thing for Luton, right? One of those teams is going to drop points, and they might draw, and I actually think this is a very winnable fixture for Luton. Ignore that 5-1 at City away. That's the hardest fixture worldwide, known to man. Now they're back at home. They won their last home game to Bournemouth 2-1, something I predicted and you didn't, which is why I gained 3 more points on you. And once again, when things are going right in your predictions, you back them up again with more. Luton 2, Brentford 1. They're going to win this game. I just know it.
Going to be 1 goal in it, but I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Dad, did you know, though, Brentford have been beaten by both promoted sides away from home?
Ooh,
that's a little...
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go to our special guest, the German ViscaBarca. How are we doing?
Hello, Theo. Thank you very much for inviting me to your Premier League predictions. Greetings from Mallorca. On Sunday, I fly over from here to Madrid to the El Clasico. Luton Town against Brentford, who haven't lost the last 4 games, but Luton has a little bit more pressure because of the points on the table to stay in the Premier League. I think 1-1.
Wow, that is a brilliant guess, Theo. You never even told me.
I know.
But the next game is Sheffield United in 20th against Burnley in 19th, Theo. Now, Sheffield United, do we even need to talk about these two teams? Because they've only won 7 games between them all season. The last defeat was at the Brentford Community Stadium. They're playing for pride, aren't they?
Yeah, there's not been a Premier League season in a while where 2 of these teams have performed as badly as they have at this stage. It's so spread out, the Premier League table, from top to bottom. It's last chance for Burnley, and for Sheffield United, it's probably too late. They're 10 points adrift of safety with 6 games to go. Can they... The Blades, can they pluck this out, or is you've already seen them in your head?
Do you know what, Theo? Their best player this season has been James Trafford. I mean that, Theo. They rested him, shall we say, and look what Muric did last week. That own goal that he conceded was appalling. That's 2 points gone from 1 split second.
They need something, don't they, Burnley? I mean, for Sheffield United, though, Dad, no win in 7 home games, and they actually won this fixture in the Championship 5-2.
Yeah.
That will give them a bit of a boost. The last 3 home games that they've played against Burnley, they've won all 3. Vincent Kompany will have his mind on 3 points. He knows he can do it. I was at the reverse fixture this year. 5-0 the score was. Brune Larsen got a goal. Their Swiss player Amdouni, Jay Rodriguez, and I think they're going to make it 6 points over the calendar year. I reckon a 1-0 cheeky win. James Trafford hopefully back in the team because he deserves it.
Wow, Sheffield United only scored 30 goals this season. No team has scored less. Conceded 84. We're counting down to 100. But you know what, Theo? They're not going to lose this one at home to Burnley. A 1-1 draw again.
Wow.
For Sheffield United against Burnley, I'm going for a 1-2 for Burnley.
Wolverhampton Wanderers against Arsenal is 11th against 2nd. And in my opinion, Theo, this is a potential banana skin because Wolves, okay, their form hasn't been great recently, but Mateus Cunha is back and he's firing on all cylinders.
What a goal. It was a brace, but that goal where he went on that solo run through the right side and then scored, incredible.
Yes, superb.
That's what Gary O'Neill needs more of, because they are winless in over 5 games now. What's going on?
Well, Theo, you're right. 2 points from 4 games, but they're the sort of team that can win or draw a game like this. Now, Arsenal, heartbreak, wasn't it, last night, Theo, in the Champions League? But can they put that behind them and get another clean sheet away? Because I think it's 5 in a row now.
Well, now they're at the Champions League, there's going to be double focus for them to win the Premier League, but it's back-to-back losses, isn't it? Aston Villa 2-0 at the Emirates, that's embarrassing, and then to go to Bayern Munich and not score... It's such a shame for them because the odds were really saying that Arsenal had as much of a chance to go through than Bayern. They need a response. Arteta will be travelling again. His players will be tired, upset. But something tells me within them there will be a fire in their belly to go for the Premier League title race that bit more. Because what they've done this season, let nobody take away, it's been incredible. Nobody thought they'd be keeping up with City and Liverpool. They've done it. I think they go there They score 2 goals, Wolves get 1, big 3 points.
They got the best goal difference in a league. All they can do here is go to Molineux and win, which they will do 1-0. I think it's going to be a close one.
Well, they have to, Dad. They're 2 points adrift from Man City. It's a must-win.
I think the Gunners can pull back after the knockout in the Champions League and put pressure on Liverpool and Manchester City. 3-0 Arsenal.
Everton against Nottingham Forest, 16th against 17th. This is an absolutely enormous relegation tussle, isn't it, Theo? Just tell me, what's going to happen here?
Hard to call, Dad. Luton will be dialing in. If my prediction's correct, and they've got 3 more points, that puts both of these teams, well, one of them in the relegation zone, 1 point above. So every point matters at this stage. That defeat for the Toffees, 6-0 at Stamford Bridge, a big confidence knock, isn't it?
It was terrible. We'll talk about Cole Palmer later. Let's talk about Everton, because defensively, they've been the 4th best team in the Premier League this season, which is amazing. And suddenly they concede 6 goals. Jordan Pickford had an off day. I think that's being nice there. And I can only imagine the bollocking that Sean Dyche gave to those players.
Well, he's managed 531 matches, and that was the largest defeat ever. And if there's ever a manager to turn it round into the next game week, it would be him. I mean, first of all, the Everton fans who travelled down to London for that game deserve a refund. And second of all, the ones going back to the home match, they deserve to see 3 points.
I reckon this will be really, really close. It's going to be a Sean Dyche masterclass. Very tight. Late goal, 1-0 to Everton.
I can see Everton going 1-0 up, like you predicted, Dad, with it in the 87th minute. Chris Wood with a back post header, 1-1.
Right, you've heard our waffle. Over to you, Anton.
For both teams, it's a very, very important match to stay in the Premier League and to get very important points. I'm going for equalizer, 1-1 also.
Crystal Palace against West Ham United, 14th against 8th. It's a tasty London derby. Now, Crystal Palace pulled off the shock of the season by beating Liverpool at Anfield. Could you believe that, Theo? Eze scored and Liverpool just could not equalise.
Well, that's what Palace fans wanted when they hired the new trainer, Oliver Glasner from Austria, the ex-Frankfurt man. Well, he went to going to Anfield and picking up 3 points, but to score early, and yes, they might have been under the cosh for the rest of the game, but my God, they fought. They defended so well. They got the blocks in, and yeah, Liverpool were a bit unlucky. They should have taken a few of their chances when Curtis Jones was 1-on-1. But seriously, to go back home, it's going to be a fiery atmosphere when those players walk out. They're looking to go 6 points in 2 games. They can do it because West Ham will be tired from Europa League.
And last week, Theo, at home, they lost to Fulham. I just feel they're getting tired. The wheels are falling off the bus a little bit.
Moise.
Do you know what? I nearly went for a 1-1 draw, but I'm going for a home win. I think Crystal Palace will nick this one, 1-0, Eze.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dad. And I think Eze might get a goal and an assist. Crystal Palace 2, West Ham 0.
They really managed to win at Anfield, and maybe they can keep the momentum and also win with 1-0 against West Ham.
Aston Villa against AFC. Bournemouth is 4th against 13th. Let's talk about Aston Villa, because that win at the Emirates last week was superb, Theo. Goals from Bailey and Watkins. They're winning that race for the 4th and 5th places, aren't they?
I know, Dad.
Playing a Bournemouth team who are number 1, quite good, Theo, and number 2, they will be rested. Last week, got a very good draw against Manchester United. They had more shots. They could have easily won that game. Don't write off Bournemouth. I think a lot of us did at the start of the season. I think Aston Villa will just win this one. I think the tiredness thing will be in effect. It'll be a close game.
It'll be a rotated team.
In fact, you know what? This week is really hard to predict.
It is.
Some really odd fixtures. Villa to win 2-1.
I'm going to say 2-2. They need to bounce back. Andoni Iraola, he asks for so much of his players. He's a bit of a perfectionist. We saw how good he was in Spain, and now I think he'll continue to find a way of getting results, even at Villa away, which is, of course, so difficult. 2-2, over to Anton.
The next one is going to be crucial for Aston Villa to fight for the Champions League places. Against Bournemouth, I think they will win 3-1.
Fulham against Liverpool. Now it's 12th against 3rd. It's the River Thames against the River Mersey. It's the North against the South. It's mid-table against top of the table. You get the picture, Theo. What's going to happen here?
Well, it's a hard one to predict, isn't it? Because the last time Whites played at home, they lost 1-0 to Newcastle. That's a bad result. They're usually pretty good. Marco Silva will be asking for more, won't he?
He will. And to use that phrase, banana skin, this is a banana skin, isn't it? Because you look at last week, Liverpool, really, of course they're still in it, but to lose at home the way they did, heads must have dropped. And Fulham last week, like I said, beat West Ham. Andreas Pereira, what a player.
Well, should Liverpool even bother going home, Dad? Because when they fly to Bergamo on Thursday, to try and fight back a 3-goal deficit to Atalanta.
I've seen Liverpool 3-0 down at half-time in
Istanbul.
Europe and come back. Yes, I watched that in Bowden, up in Manchester.
But
I remember screaming my heart out for that game, Theo. It can happen.
I think Fulham, they, for some reason, look at the last 3 head-to-heads. At Craven Cottage, Liverpool failed to win those last 3. They've all ended draws. And I think another draw could be on the cards. Something tells me that Muniz is going to score. Fulham 2, Liverpool 2.
But you look at Liverpool all season. They lost last week, but they've only lost 3 times in the league this season. I reckon they'll sneak this one 2-1.
Fulham against Liverpool. Unfortunately, they got knocked out in the Europa League. I really wanted to see a final between them and Leverkusen. But alright, we will see if they could restart their brains, because now it's another competition and they have really a big chance to win the Premier League. If they win the last games, they will win 0-2.
And now for the double game week
FPL
there
players.
with Arsenal against Chelsea. It's a classic London derby.
Big game.
And I want to talk about 2 players from Chelsea. We've not talked about them yet. First of all, Alfie Gilchrist, the young lad. He came on, he got his goal. That celebration was beautiful, wasn't it, Theo?
Chelsea are full of passion right now, aren't they? They've started to figure it out. Pochettino has had time to relax. He hasn't been distracted by other competitions that's affected other top teams, shall we say. They will come into this game with so much confidence. I think they will be gutted, Arsenal fans, that they didn't play this fixture back when they were winning every game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I get that
They've thrown
point.
it after 2 losses. It's gutting for them.
It is, Theo. They're up against Cole Palmer, who got
Yes.
4 goals last week. He was sensational. Just how good can he become?
Oh, I just hope that he starts in that Euros team.
I'm going to get straight into it.
Go on.
Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1.
Oh, I just feel like Chelsea deserve more right now. Come on, Dad. If we're going to talk about this game, there's never been an opportunity to predict a Chelsea win more than this. But we can't forget, they're also going to be knackered because they're playing Manchester City on the Wembley pitch, which is the biggest pitch in football. I reckon a 2-2 draw.
In my point of view, Chelsea were improving a lot in the last few months, so it won't be very easy for the Gunners to win, but nevertheless, I say 3-2 for Arsenal.
Wolverhampton Wanderers against AFC Bournemouth, mid-table clash. It's not worth saying anything. I'm just going to say Wolves to win 1-0.
Why are you not saying anything, Dad? There's a lot to
Because-
talk about. It's a Wolves double game week. Ait Nori. Look at Cunha in the form he's in. Wanky Chan will be back for this game. Wolves 1, Bournemouth 0.
Wolverhampton against Bournemouth, I go for a 0-0. No goals.
Crystal Palace against Newcastle United, with Newcastle chasing a Europa League place and Crystal Palace chasing, 14th place, Theo.
Hey, Dad, they're winning at the moment. Come on.
They are.
They've got the
can't-
Glasner bounce.
But they can't go above 14th. If you look at the table, does it really matter to them? Now, look at Newcastle's last game against Spurs, wasn't it, Theo?
Yep.
Less possession, but who cares? Because they smashed them 4-0.
Dad, Eddie Howe has turned a leaf. It's similar to Chelsea recently. Out the Champions League, players are chilling, a lot of time on the training ground, and they're looking very good. 2 men that stand out for me, Anthony Gordon, Alexander Isaac. Crystal Palace will sit down and they will think, how do we stop these guys? My answer is, I don't think they will. Palace 0, Newcastle 1.
Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle 1.
Never.
Crystal Palace against Newcastle, 2-1 for Newcastle.
Manchester United against Sheffield United. It's a chance for the Red Devils to bag a precious win, because 4 last games, Theo, 3 of them have been drawn.
Well, it's a pointless game for Sheffield United. This could be the match they get relegated, and I think they'll get battered. I can't say anything but a Manchester United win here at home, Old Trafford. I think the fans will come thinking it could be 4 or 5. I'm going to say 3-0. Let's just say in this game, Mainu, Garnacho and Højlund are going to have a lot of fun.
This is the sort of fixture at Old Trafford there's going to be 0-0 after 70 minutes. Just wait and see. But United will get 2 late goals, 2-0.
Man United versus Sheffield United, 3-1 for the Red Devils.
Everton against Liverpool is the Merseyside derby. It's blue against red. It's a game that matters for different reasons.
Yes.
Everton trying to avoid relegation, Liverpool trying to win the league. This is a game where the Scousers of all family members come together, whether they're blue and red, and watch this amazing spectacle.
And it's that much more important because it's the final one at Goodison Park. What a heroic
How
stadium. Did you ever go there,
sad
Dad?
is that? I've been to Goodison Park,
Nice.
and it's incredible, Theo. I love it. I love Everton as a club. And how sad, of course, they're moving to a wonderful ground
They
if
are.
construction's ready on time. But how sad, Theo.
Could this be the moment Everton stop Liverpool? That's the question. Everton will have their minds in this game thinking, we stop Liverpool in their title race, and it's going to be an amazing atmosphere. You know, it's blue against red in this stadium for one final time. The one that brings the city together, or against each other. And I do think by full time, though, we are going to see one team standing out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think for Everton fans' sake, it won't be them. I think Liverpool win 2-0.
This could easily be a sort of a 3-1, 4-1 Liverpool, but because it's at Goodison, 2-1 Liverpool.
A huge derby between Everton and Liverpool. One team is trying to stay in the Premier League and the other one is fighting for the Premier League. So I'm going for a close 3-2 for Liverpool.
And finally, Brighton and Hove Albion against Manchester City, a game that promises to be a fascinating encounter. Now, Brighton last week, Theo, it was only Muric of Burnley that gifted them a point, wasn't it?
Well, it's difficult for Brighton to stay motivated. De Zerbi, it's one of his last games as a manager of that club. 100%. Well, for me, I think he's going Barcelona. But let's see where he ends up. Could be Liverpool too. They're playing Man City. They're playing Pep Guardiola. He'll be looking for a response after somehow crashing out of the Champions League, giving it everything, but taking off De Bruyne and Haaland in pivotal moments in extra time. I think City's minds will be set to the four-peat. They want to do it. They want to make history. Be the first club to ever do that in Premier League history. Do you think they will do it? Because we predicted it at the start of the season, both of us.
I think they will, Theo. And I want to shout out a player who I think next season will be superb. And his name is Jeremy Doku. When he came on this weekend against Real Madrid, Theo, they were better. I think he's a really exciting player, very raw talent, wonderful to watch. I would say he's better than Jack Grealish.
It will be a bit cagey. Brighton are a solid side. They'll make it tough at the Amex. 1-0, Erling Haaland back to scoring ways.
I agree that Manchester City will win by a solitary goal. I'm going to go for Brighton 1, Man City 2.
ViscaBarca, what do you think, son?
No doubt, although Brighton has a very good coach and a very good team, it's gonna be no problem for Manchester City to keep their winning streak and they will win with 4-1. Thank you once again, Theo, for inviting me. I hope my predictions are pretty fine. And yeah, see you next time. Bye-bye.
That is it. A pivotal week in the Premier League. Everything can change in the relegation zone and at the top of the Premier League. Let us know in the comments. Ignore us, mugs. I want to hear what you guys think. I'm going to be down there replying to people, especially if you're early. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.